Hello everybody, it's QuestOps Gaming here, and we are back in Helldivers 2. So, looking at the Galactic War map, we have a lot of stuff going on the Illuminate side. So, the new major order is to hold Andar, as well as, Asperoth Prime. That's what I'm going to say it's called. So, it looks like we need to defend these, some of these planets as, I believe, Andar Prime is here, and so is the other planet that we need to defend. So we've got to make sure that, we keep these planets sort of ours so they don't get into this section, because most of this section is kind of ours at the moment. So yeah, we've just got to defend a few of these planets as the Illuminate are moving in on us. So yeah, that's get diving, get down there and kick some ass. Yeah, we have a personal order of 6 secondary objectives, which is pretty cool. It's I'm not gonna lie, I've been full of, I think everyone is full of war medals now, war bond medal. So it's a bit, we need other rewards, or we need a war bond to come out, because I've hit the cap already, or they need to raise the cap. Anyway, so yeah, we also had a dev blog, which I personally read, and I don't think there's much here, so I'm not really going to cover it. Basically, it's just having a look at the producer gets people in line, and they want ideas and stuff, and how ideas come together and all that stuff, and they get the people like, oh, you can make this, you can do that, and then we can get it released on this time and all this stuff. I know they organize the stuff, to be honest, and what they sort of like, and the process of it, basically, like, oh, we have this idea for a fantasy, we see if they can implement it and all that stuff, and who we talk to and all that stuff, and then we sort of like figure it out, and there we go, Bob's your uncle, uncle's your aunt, and uncle's your aunt. I don't think that's the thing, but like basically that's how you get the team together to do everything and stuff like that, and it more or less sort of gets it, all together, and then bam, you've got a product, or bam, you've got a story arc, or bam, you've got like new vehicles and all that stuff. So it's, I don't really think they understand what these dev blogs are meant to be, maybe, but this just really doesn't seem interesting to me, and I don't think it interests a lot of other people, to be honest. It's just, I think the whole point is, I think people wanted more communication in the ways that are like, hey, what issues are you trying to fix this week? What is the things they're tackling this week? Instead of like, oh, this is what this person does. Oh, this is what this was. It's like, it's great to hear. It's not really, because we don't particularly care. We just want to know that the issues in the game are being fixed. Now, maybe they're just like, oh, we're going to introduce these people first, and then we're going to be like, hey, this is what we're working on this week. And I think that's what people are more intrigued about, really, is like what you're working on. Now, if it's like a war bonds and stuff, you can't really say. But you could say like, oh, we've got some, new content coming in the pipeline, estimated around this time. That would be like, oh, okay, I better get grinding, super credits or something. Or, be like, hey, I need to start unlocking more war medals and stuff. Well, I think everyone is topped up to the max with them anyway. So I think it's, the direction of these dev blogs need to be different. I think they need to be like, this week in the studio, we've got so-and-so is working on these fixes and stuff like that. So-and-so is working on this thing and stuff like that. I think people would like that, really, a bit more than just, oh, this is this person. What does he do? And he does all this. And it's like, that's great. And stuff like that. So it's, I just think it needs to be like, more transparent with like, hey, this is what we're working on this week. We're fixing these bugs. We're trying to tackle all this stuff. So yeah, and just a little bit more interesting stuff. And I think that would get people being like, holy crap, you're tackling these issues that we've had. This is really cool. I love to see it. And, and as well as sort of like include like, hey, we are testing out, we're testing out some new features and stuff. And this is how we're doing it. Basically, we're running through that, and we've got like 60 computers and stuff of different configurations and different specs and stuff like that, or something like that. Or like, hey, we've hired an external company to test out certain things on certain rigs, and they're doing this, that, and the other, and just be like transparent with how they're working. Because I feel like a lot of it, in order to gain a little bit of trust and stuff, you need to sort of get that, be like, this is why we're doing it stuff, and this is, you know, it's working. We're working on things that you criticize and stuff. This week, you know, we've got the people doing some balancing, mainly as we've seen that people don't like the so and so and so and so from our surveys. So we're tackling that this week. And if it's just a dry spell, just say like the team is in like production of certain things. We can't go to too specifics, but just know that something is coming eventually, or so and so. I think it's mainly just to get people still interested in the game. These dev blogs need to sort of work with the marketing team in a certain way and be like an interesting sort of, it's just not hitting for me right now, and it's just boring. My brain kind of turned off when it was reading it. I didn't really take it in. I read it about 3 times because I was like, I don't get what they're trying to. I get what they're trying to say. They need to see like, this person is for this person, this is what they do. But at the same time, it's not the communication I want to hear. I want more like what you're working on, kind of like, are you fixing this, this, and this? Is the balancing being looked at again? Such and such and such, you know. And it's mainly just that. So it's, you know, I think they just need to get that message. They need to understand that that's sort of the message they want to receive. And maybe, you know, they could introduce a person within the thing a little bit, but as well as, but it not be the whole damn thing. You know, we kind of want to hear what you're working on. It's like Arrowhead is not like 20 people, right? I'll be very surprised if there's just like 20 people working on a thing. I'll be very surprised. But this is a big team and stuff like that. There are things you can get and be like, oh, so what you working on this week? Oh, you're working on that. So you're just getting that together and stuff like that. Okay, so you're making this sharper and all that, you know. It's like, oh, you're working on new content. We're not going to say it, but what's your opinion on it? It's like, oh, you know, it's fun. I think people really like it. You know, just the marketing spiel to get people to be like, hey, something's going on here. Because right now it's radio silence. We've only got leaks for like new war bonds and stuff, which isn't good. So I think, you know, personally, I think they should be doing a little bit teases to get people back into the game. Not like images and stuff, but like, you know, with text. Because these dev blogs are just boring. I don't think it's what people wanted. And I think, you know, I think whoever's writing it needs to be okay with, I don't know, it just seems like people aren't talking and not trying to communicate. And I know when you're working and stuff, you don't want to be dragged away for like half an hour just for an interview about what you're doing and stuff. But it's only once a week, and it's different people every week. Don't, you know, might throw you off for a, I mean, if it throws you off all day, you've got some issues with your work kind of thing. Like, oh, I was in my mode and now I just can't do it. I just can't do it now because I was dragged away for half an hour. I think it's a bit silly. I think, you know, I think it needs, you know, it needs to be a bit more spicy. And he talks about spice in it, but this wasn't a spicy thing. This is boring. Anyway, that's all from me. I will see you in the next one. Take care. Goodbye. And like and subscribe.